Welcome back to our Checkmate playlist video where we analyze low elo games, we laugh, and we cry. Today it's a special battle between two 400 elo players. Why is it special? Because it's a Fisher random chess game. You know, Chess 960. This is the first one in the channel. Even though in the video I say I despise 960, I've actually started playing more 960 as I'm recording this. I've actually a couple current daily 960 games on my account. So yeah, just a small side note. I don't actually despise it. I just don't like it too much. Although it's very good for your improvement, so I do recommend you play some 960 as well. Anyway, let's get on with this extremely horrible video. Alright, let's begin. Now, you might realize the pieces are a bit shuffled. That's because this is 960. This is the first 960 of the Checkmate playlist. Look at that. It took a while. I want to start playing 960 a bit more. And just a bit more. To get better. Even though I absolutely despise 960, I think, now that I've saw some stuff, I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good for chess improvement, so I might take up some 960 games. Anyway, 960 is basically the pieces are shuffled, and it gets rid of opening theory and memorization, and you need to make a plan on the fly, you know, with the pieces that you see and what you need to do. Yeah. And also you can still castle, you just need to move your pieces and castle. This is a battle of two... Well, I'll take the 960 elo for this one. 400s. Let's begin. G4. B6. Okay. Natural. Makes sense, I guess. Makes sense. G4 shockingly makes a lot of sense because you're going to fake into the bishop and put the knight here supporting the two squares. Shockingly, that makes sense. The best move is E4 best by test. B6. It's basically G4, but if it was on the queen side and was one square forward. Now, B6 is a bit more restrained, and you just want a bishop here, and you're not sure where this knight wants to go. I mean, you can put it here. B4. I don't know what B4 does. B4 does the same thing. Here's the problem, though. The bishop can go here, put some pressure, and most likely, you have to move your knight. So, yeah. Not too bad so far. I mean, very much just developing. Knight goes here. I would... D6 actually... E6 is not that bad. You're gonna get the bishop out. I don't hate the E6 that much. I think the computer is gonna absolutely hate this move. If I give it some time to think. Yeah, it hates it. There's knight here. No one's gonna see that. Knight E6. Rook B3. Rook lift. You know who did rook lifts back in the day? Kasparov. You're not him. You're not him. That rook move does nothing. The only way you can possibly explain this after bishop d5 is you want to go to the queen side or here. These are the only two good squares for this rook, or here. Otherwise, you just waste time. Obviously, white shows their genius idea of bishop b2. Sacrificing the rook, aka hunging it in one move. It does not. That move does nothing. You just take this. You take this. No, there's nothing. You just take this. You know why you take this? Because there's nothing. You just hung a rook for a bishop. Your only compensation is that you open up the queen side. You can put a bishop here, and you can maybe get some counterplay. That's your only reason. And honestly, I don't even think that's actually good, because you can go to the king side. Now, this is up to interpretation, because it just hung a knight in one move, because I clicked pieces for no reason. But, you know, arguments are to be made, and, yeah. You have light square weaknesses, but it's, you know, not easily exploitable because of c6, and maybe there's b5. I don't know. This is still not a great way to lose a rook like that. Knight to g6. Now the rook has a chance to move. It can move here. It can move here. It can move here. It doesn't move at all. Instead, it's being hung again in one move. Now, actually, hanging the rook is bad. See how this doesn't make any sense? You know why hanging the rook is bad? Not straight up bishop takes b3, although that's still completely winning. But because of knight to d4. And essentially, this pawn is hanging, which semi at the same time of this also threatens a fork. So yeah, your best move is actually lose the queen. How disgusting is that? And after here and here, apparently you sack back, you win back the queen, but at the end of the day, really, white is better. I'm sorry, black is better because count the material. It's what is it? We got 3 minor pieces, 2 minor pieces. Yeah, it's rook for knight, rook for bishop, and this monstrosity over here. And white has a pawn on g4. All your compensation is basically gone. But instead of that, we just have bishop takes b3, which is a fantastic move for the 400. Doesn't matter. It's okay. We accept it. I don't know why the engine is hating it. It's actually a pretty good move. C takes b3. Not even a takes to open up the a file for attacks. Not even that. That's okay. That's okay. You're 400. You hung just one piece for an exchange. That's okay. Knight to d4. Okay, knight d4 is a very simple premise. It's to fork you. Shockingly, white spots that. Shockingly, white spots that. Here's the problem. This knight can go to h4, which no one's going to see that, and no one's going to see the reason behind it. Even I don't understand this move. If you just do nothing, apparently there's just g6. That's the only point of knight h4, is you can now move the bishop. That's the only point. Knight f4. And now if you think, hey, that's a fork, you're right, that's a fork, but here's the problem. You lose. You lose in spectacular fashion. You need to sack your queen, because otherwise it's mate. You're smothered by your own pieces, and you need to sack your queen for the knight. So it doesn't work. So bishop a3 for some reason. I don't know what bishop a3 does. I don't want to even get to the details. And now there's a sacrifice here. The sacrifice of knight d3 check. You're forced to take this. And after that you can go here. Fork the king and the rook. And then make out like a bandit. And just have yet another rook for a minor piece. And it's going to be rooks versus ponies. Crazy. Well, rooks versus ponies and pony hats versus the crown hats, a pony and a pony hat. That made zero sense whatsoever. I don't give a damn. So yeah. Oh, and you can find a chance to trade queens here. So yeah, awful. A terrible position. I did not mean to press game review. But that's okay. That's fine. All right. I just have big thumbs. I'm just, and also the back and the game review button are so close to each other. Obviously, this didn't happen, because then black would just go on to win, and with no problems, and with no issues at all. So instead of that, black plays the ultra elite, ultra powerful knight d takes e2. Yeah, that's what black played. Knight d takes e2. You know what this move does? Nothing. You take this and you move on. In fact, you can take this 2 different ways. 3 if you discount the knight. Obviously, you don't want to lose your queen. If knight takes 2, there is a mate. So I guess that's what black thought, that they would take with a knight. There's 3 possible ways to take. 2 of them kill you. The other one is, surviving. White shockingly finds the ultra extreme move rook h1. Rook h1. Just rook h1. Nice move. Very nice move. Does nothing, but rook h1. So not only did you lose a knight, the black knight makes out like a bandit and takes another knight, and now black is up. Black is up everything. It's still rook for I mean, this knight just took an extra pawn as well, left, And now it's rook for bishop and a million pawns. So yeah, g5. This is g5. After all that, g5. g5 is the idea of bishop g7, h6, and solidifying. Shockingly, black is playing well now, if we exclude a couple moves. b5. I don't know what b5 does. I don't feel like getting into an investigation what b5 does. So yeah. And now, black plays the move. I don't know why the engine is not showing the top engine move, but if I was black here, I'll probably castle and just cope with the fact my light squares are horrible, but would just solidify them and be in good shape. Black plays the move. Queen takes h1. Now, do you have a small child, a small nephew, let's say? You have a cousin, nephew, I don't know what you have. Just a small, a smaller relative. And you have a chessboard. And they see something on the other side of the board. And they have something on the opposite side of the board. And they just zoom like this. And then they look at you like they just did something incredible. And then you take their piece and they cry. And then you get slapped in the face by a slipper. That's not a real story by me. That's just a hypothetical concept. That's what basically happened here. Black saw the rook was hanging in parentheses because it's not, and forgot how the knights move and lost the queen. Interesting. Very fun. Interesting. h6. Losing a queen like nothing, and h6. Now the compensation is 2 rooks for a queen, but black is down a piece. And is up a couple of pawns. Are they up a couple of pawns? They might be. 3. Yeah, they're up like 2 pawns, I think. I think they're up 2 pawns. If I can count, yeah, black has all of their pawns still. Black still has all of their pawns. They're up 2 pawns. That's crazy. Yeah, that's another thing to mention. Black has all of their pawns still. What a great thing. h4! For some reason. You want to break their structure. I guess the only idea is that if you take, then there is like activation of the queen. That's the only thing I can think of. It's the only thing I think of. Bishop c1. Okay. Attack a knight. Because we can. c6. Losing the knight. Should have added more dramatic effect, but it just loses the knight in one move. And obviously, white is hungry for pieces, so they take one more piece. Now white is up 2 minor pieces in a queen versus 2 rook endgame. Yeah, this is losing. 2 rooks versus a queen endgame while your opponent has 2 extra minor pieces. Yeah, that's not great. So yeah, d6. Not moving the rook because I want to keep castling rights for some reason. Now I have the move c4, defending the pawn. Okay, that doesn't. It's not. You can take a free pawn, and then if they go here, then you can go here or defend a pawn. No, we just defend it, and now we don't have a pass pawn. And actually, shockingly, this pawn is really good, and you will never be able to get rid of this, except sacrificing a rook, because this bishop is a dark square bishop. It can't see the light squares. So yeah, c4. C takes, rook c8. Now, white has to think here. Hit the pause button and think. Okay, I got a king in the center. This is not a threat. There's nothing. The bishop covers. So maybe like bishop here or f3 or, anything. Bishop here, f3, knight here, king e2. So many moves are possible. Even this is not bad. Just walking the king. Even this is not bad. Because you get the king into the game and there's not a lot of pieces left. White plays the move? Bishop takes h6. Even if you donate it to me. You can't do that. I'm not monetized. Maybe you can help me with that. You know. Oh, sorry about that. Maybe you can help me with that. Even if you gave me a bounty, I couldn't analyze this to you. Like a freaking if you did slash give money to me, I wouldn't be able to explain this. Look how quickly it went from +5. Like, look, give it a little bit of time. Yeah, look at +5. In one move later, +1, not even +2. And you're gonna say, well, white is still up a minor piece, so why is this bad? Well, here's the problem. Remember when I said this dark square bishop protecting this the squares, and you cannot get pinned to the queen, and then you can't lose your queen? Yeah, now that's possible because this is here, and actually it's pretty hard to stop. You need to move your king or play bishop here, and then there might be a sacrifice of this, but it doesn't work because there's queen takes here. But yeah, you need to find this move. You need to find this move. That's pretty hard for 400. That's not findable at all. And look at that. I was proven right. A4. And now, white is lost. Why is white lost? That's because of rook c3. You really thought that they're just gonna win the queen, huh? You really thought you really thought, yeah, this is the checkmate playlist. Absolutely heinous crimes on the chessboard happen, and we just laugh at them. I'm joking. We don't laugh at them. We cope with the pain they give us by laughing, and then we learn from them. Like, for example, you can learn how to prevent the spin by interposing. This is the interposing tactic. I've shortened that too. A4. Rook c3. You know what the idea of rook c3 is? To attack the pawn. That's it. That's the entire idea. Queen d4. Shockingly gets out of the way. Shockingly sees the move. I mean, I would prefer if you defended the pawn, obviously. I guess there's d6, but you take this, you don't care. No. Queen d4. Fine. You saved your queen from danger, even though you completely hung it last move. That's okay. Rook c1 check. Finally, white sees that they could have actually won a queen. And, yeah. King e2. Bonk cloud. Deferred bonk cloud. Extremely delayed, late bonk cloud. Rook b1. Rook b1. Rook b1. You know the song? No, you don't? Okay, that's fine. Guess you haven't been as long as I have been on the chess world. A5, completely oblivious to whatever is happening here. You might as well just move your king, put the bishop there, defend everything. Like, just move your queen, this is checkmate, by the way. One accidental move, defending a pawn is literally a checkmate threat. You know why this is a checkmate threat? Let me play around the move. This is checkmate. This queen takes away all of the squares. Because black is just careless. Black is careless. I'm sorry. Black is careless. Now, we have the move. Rook takes b3. Not rook takes b3. That's stupid. Sorry. I apologize. A5. I apologize. Forgot I was in hypothetical move scenario list. A5. Rook takes b3. Me see free pawn. Me take free pawn. Absolutely fine. Here's the problem. This is the problem. You see what's the problem? Black has a checkmate threat, basically. White has a checkmate threat. The only way to defend yourself is this, and then you need to go here, and then you need to castle. Castle. Shockingly, you can still castle. Forgot you can castle. Yeah. Bishop g2. You really think that was gonna happen? Yeah, of course not. Bishop g2. Now we have b takes a5. Free pawns. Free pawns are good pawns, right? Yeah, good or not. Queen takes a7. Okay, it's probably good time to castle now. Castle out of the way. Defend yourself. Cope that you're down a minor piece. But you're up like 2 pawns. 1 pawn, excuse me. No, 2 pawns. I counted correctly. No. Rook takes b5. We continue chopping down pawns. I don't know how you're not losing a rook here. Shockingly, you are. You know how you're losing a rook? Because queen takes a8. Queen a8. And you need to move out of the way. And actually, the engine wants to not even take a rook. It wants to do this. Not the bishop. I guess you can exclude the bishop, but I don't get it why you could do it this way. Why not just take this rook and just shut up? I don't know. Maybe because a4 is okay. Who cares about a4? You got 2 minor pieces and a queen for versus rook. Who cares? Engine, shut up. Here's the problem. Me and you, we see those moves. What about them? Bishop a8. Hold up. Bishop a8. Bishop a8. This bishop, I mean, a far more natural move is here, obviously. But, you know, that's not the point that you're a bit lost. But bishop a8, what a badass move. Just grabbing the bishop and just dropping it to the other side of the board like it's nothing. Flexing to your opponent that your bishop is a 4-point piece that does absolutely nothing. f6. And actually, shockingly enough, you know, there's also this fork we forgot to address. Yeah, that's I think they wanted to like to do this. I think they want to do this. Put the mouse up. Anyway, f6. Black is lost because of the fork, and white plays the move. Queen to b8 check. Queen to b8. Don't give me money to explain this move. I will not. I will fail. Anyway, and obviously black moved the king. Black moved the king. Could have taken a queen, but they moved the king. Bishop d5 check. Losing a bishop. e6. Now you can lose whichever rook you want. I honestly just lose this one, get done with it. Yeah, that's what happens. Queen takes b5. That's what happens. E takes d5. Queen b7. Not even taking this. King e6. Queen a7. That pawn is still hanging. It's taken. That pawn's taken. And we have a very weird fucking position where there is a queen versus a rook and a knight versus a bishop. And it's 4 versus 1. Who's going to win this position? I have no clue. But most likely, it will be white because they have a queen. And they can, you know, they have a knight as well. They have, you know. And black's pawn structure isn't too favorable. d4. Just calmly hanging a fork. You can't even get out of it because if check, there's this, and then you need to lose the bishop. Here's the move that you didn't see. It came from the heavens. f4 for some reason. Yeah, f4. It's taken with the rook, and shockingly, this move is awesome for the 400. You know why? You know why this move is awesome? After queen to c7, king e5, queen a5 check, king f4, and queen a1. White is almost lost. And after d3, the only move to survive the incoming onslaught is 1. But let's say you don't know that. Let's say you don't see anything. You have 3 moves. 1 move saves you, the other kill you. So what's going to happen? What's going to happen? I'm going to close my eyes. Oh no. You know why White played that move? Because you realized to go to D2, there's a discover check. So they went to D1 for some reason and got mated in 1. And the battle of 2 400s in the 960 Fisher random game, the first one in the series, is concluded with a loss.